At the end of the day, forecasting stock prices is very easy. In this video, I will share with you a tip you can use on every stocks all across the globe. Stay until the end of the video because I will do an example both on Nvidia and Microsoft shares.
And something really interesting you can find is the sales, net income, price earnings, and dividends directly on the chart. This is particularly interesting because this tool, the possibility to have sales and net income and all the other information on the chart directly, is very important because, as you can see, when you plot the earnings, for example, on the stock chart, you can definitely see that prices tend to rise for the stock when the earnings rise, and prices tend to fall when the earnings fall. Nvidia shares skyrocketed in the last 2 years, not because of something special we don't know, but because the company made a lot of money. Because, as you can see, let me do a zoom on the chart so you can see much better. If we zoom in, it was 2023 and the company had only, let's say, 4.37 billion in net income. The next year, which is 2024, the company had 29 billion. And right now, in the last year, the company closed with a $72 billion in net income. And this is something amazing that allowed the prices of the company in the stock market to rise. But as you can definitely watch from this chart, where you can find both the share price and the net income, is that the price for the shares goes exactly where the results are. This is why we can definitely say that the stock prices are driven by the company result. And this is something really interesting because it's something that in the long run tell us exactly where the company will be probably. And this is something also very interesting because sometimes happens that in the short term the market is really pessimistic due to many things, like for example now it's a little bit pessimistic because of Trump tariff, okay? And as you can see, what happens is something really nice. And what I mean is, if you plot, as we always do, the net income on the chart directly on the prices, for example, at the moment, you can definitely say that we have an upside opportunity here, okay? Because the stock prices tend to reach, they are attracted somehow from the net income line. If we go on Microsoft, which is at the moment the biggest stock on the S&P 500, as you can see, in the long run, prices tend to stay on the net income line, but sometimes it happens that prices go very far from this line. It happens also the contrary. For example, sometimes prices are investors are too optimistic and the share price go far above the net income line. What happens in the long run? The price of the share tend to be at this equilibrium point, which is the net income line. When, for example, the prices go very far from the net income line in the lower part, they go down, let's say, it's only a matter of time they will reach again the net income line. This is something very interesting because it gives us very nice opportunities when we have, for example, right now on Microsoft or on Nvidia, as I told you before, a company which is performing very well, okay, fundamentally speaking. For example, Nvidia is doing great with the earnings, okay, but because of tariff, because of the geopolitical situation of Taiwan, which is the country where the chips are made, and many other things, we had a downturn, but at the same time, the net income level is still very high. Okay, so we have a very strong buying opportunity, and this tool is very nice because we can see it, we can see the opportunity very easily in a very quick way. As you can see, this is the proof. This little tip works really fine because look, for example, we had, starting from the beginning of 2025, a drop in prices, but at the same time, as you can see, the net income is growing.
This video is an extract of an entire masterclass regarding investments and trading. You can find the entire free course here on YouTube. You can find the link in the description.